So the purpose of sway control, and I'm demonstrating it using this equalizer here, is to provide friction or compression. So the compression's right here and the friction's right here. Equalizer uses a 4-point system, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4. The way the system essentially works is when the truck is not connected to the trailer, the bars will sit high because there's no downward force on the hitch. Once you start lowering the trailer into the ball, what ends up happening is these bars want to press down against these L brackets and they create friction. Again, the whole point of sway control is preventing the trailer and truck from being able to hinge as easily, causing sway. Sway impacts a truck when the trailer wants to move like this or wants to force the truck to move like this. These bars from the 4 points here basically create this rigid platform that causes the truck and the trailer to have a less likelihood of moving and hinging in this area. And that's essentially how sway control works. So what's going on, guys? Sorry for the wind, as it's always windy here. I am here at a good friend of mine's business. It's called Iconic Signs, and they make pretty much all the signs you see for the bigger companies around town, such as like Olive Garden, things like that. This area got hit incredibly hard with winds from Hurricane Harvey, and it did a lot of damage to signs. So they got really busy really quick because of it. As you can see, they still haven't even had a chance to fix their own sign. Anyways, I am here for a very specific reason. So I'm here with my good friend Chris. So he is one of the owners of Iconic Sign Group, which I would probably say does the majority of the big sign jobs in town. Would I be correct by saying that?
That is correct. We service all South Texas. We've been here for a long time.
Absolutely. I think you've done some of the big franchise restaurants and a lot of the big businesses. Whenever you see a sign on a big retail business, at least down here, they probably did the work. Anyways, we're standing in front of this 2016 F750. And if you haven't seen one of these yet, this is the new body style. One of the big differences Ford did in 2016 was they started putting the same 6.7 liter Powerstroke engine that you can get in the new Super Duty pickup trucks. Now, the big difference is the truck has been derated as far as horsepower and torque for these larger vehicles, simply for longevity, to make the engine last longer. So these things come with like a 250,000-mile warranty on them now versus, you know, a pickup truck that might have a 100,000-mile warranty. So Chris, I got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
First of all, you bought this truck as a business decision, right? It's not brand loyalty. It's not, you're not buying this truck because you want to stick to Ford. You bought this because you need it to do a specific task. Now, what job does this truck do?
This is our service truck and install truck. It's mounted with a 60-foot Elliott truck, and that's our primary reason that we bought the truck. Elliott has been using the Ford trucks this past year, so this is the reason why, you know, we ended up with the Ford truck.
How long have you had this truck?
We got this truck in December 2016.
So have you had any issues with it so far? Any mechanical problems? What's your opinion as far as the reliability so far on it?
The truck has been doing great for us compared to some of our other trucks that we've had in the past. No complaints here. It's running great. The truck runs a lot of hours. You know, we run off PTO, the crane, so it's continuous running, about 8-hour days, but we've had no trouble with the truck so far.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. You know, a lot of people wonder, how is this Powerstroke going to stack up against, say, Cummins engines or some of the international trucks you have? Because you have several pretty large trucks. How many trucks would you say you have that are similar in size to this configuration?
We have 3 trucks that are large trucks right now. 2 which we, total of 5 we had, 2 which we sold already. Now we got 3 in operations as of right now.
Okay. Are you seeing a cost difference in maintaining a truck like this versus some of those other trucks?
Maintenance has been a lot less. You know, we see it use that DEF fluid a lot more. Something, you know, we're newer to compared to the older trucks. But other than that, you know, overall, being a newer truck, we're seeing a lot less maintenance on the truck as of now. Yep.
So one of the questions I asked Chris when I first got here was, you know, they don't really go 300 or 400 miles away to do work. There's so much work around here that they really don't need to. So this truck doesn't see super long trips on the highway, but it sees probably the worst possible thing you can do, and that is engine hours, like he was saying. One of the challenges you have when maintaining a fleet is the fact that they're going to sit for a long time just running the engine, and you have to keep the engine running on this truck to power the PTO, which essentially powers this enormous boom at the very top. So this truck sees a lot of engine hours, and so far he hasn't had any problems with it. Guys, I'm not endorsing this vehicle as a vehicle you need to buy, especially if you're a business owner. What I'm saying is, if you are shopping around, you should keep your options open. And I think that the F750 so far has done a great job at proving that the 6.7 liter Powerstroke diesel that a lot of people question the reliability of is doing really good work for businesses that need it. So another question that I asked Chris was, you know, are they essentially loyal to Ford? Because you see this truck and you might say, well, all they're going to buy is Ford, or that obviously they're a Ford fan in order to say this. So he said that they just bought another truck and it's a Dodge, right? Or
Correct.
Ram?
Yes, it is. We bought another Elliott vehicle, which is a 43-footer, and that was mounted on a Dodge unit. So yeah, we're not subject to one vehicle. It's, you know, whatever's out there that the manufacturer's putting on there, you know, that's what we're relying on. Mm-hmm. But both trucks, they're doing a great job for us.
Yeah. Yep, it's all about business sense, right? You're going to pay the cost for the vehicle, and whatever vehicle makes the most business sense, whatever vehicle performs the job and creates a return on investment. And in the case of this truck, it's Ford. In the case of your other truck, it's a Ram vehicle.
Correct.
Chris keeps apologizing to me because the truck's not spotless, but it's a work truck. It was so hard to even get time to come over here and film this because the minute they're done with one job, they're moving to another job, and he's actually about to take off, and I don't want to hold him up too much longer. And you can still hear that it's a diesel, but they are so much quieter than they've been in the past. Take a look under the hood. Again, guys, this is the same 6.7 liter Powerstroke engine that you get in a new Ford Super Duty F250, F350 pickup truck. You can see how thick the frame is on this thing too. So Brian here is actually in charge of the shop, and he's telling me that these trucks are just very reliable. You still have to perform a lot of the same general maintenance that you would have to do on any medium-duty pickup truck. You now have DEF fluid that you have to worry about. You're going to have to do your oil changes and all your basic stuff. But these trucks are very reliable. They're far more reliable than they've really ever been. And it's pretty amazing to see that these engines are holding up really well in this configuration. Let's get up inside this truck. So interestingly enough, this truck shares pretty much the same interior as the 2011 through 2016 Ford Super Duty. And, you know, it's really utilitarian in function. It does a great job. You have your 4 upfitter switches here, you know, for your overhead lights or to control anything. You have your master PTO button here. This truck is just set up for work, and, you know, it really has a functional interior for what they use it for. I'm going to close the door just to see how quiet the engine is in here with the door closed. Guys, if you want to talk about a quiet interior on a medium-duty truck, hop into one of these new F750s. This thing is just incredibly quiet, especially for a truck this size and this large. So this truck only has about 16,000 miles on it in the last year and 2 months that they've had it, but it has over 1,000 hours of engine idle time. So that's about twice as much as the average. This truck has the Goodyear G182 RSD. Massive leaf spring setup. Some pretty aggressive tires too. The platform on the back of this truck is probably 4.5 feet high. And I imagine that crane's pretty heavy. Here's one of their older trucks. They're actually in the process of getting rid of this one and getting a new truck. But they bought this truck when it was new. And it gives you a little bit of a better understanding of really the type of use they put these things through. Guys, so one thing that's going to be really cool, and one of the reasons why I'm going to be working much closer with Chris, is there are a lot of folks out there who have older fifth wheels, older motorhomes, older Class Cs, or even pop-up campers or truck campers, and the decals have just gone to crap on them. And the folks here at Iconic do amazing work. They do everything from Pepsi Cola to, this is a mattress store here in town. Basically, they do all the big names, and they do vinyl print. They do all sorts of different graphics. One thing that I want to start doing is finding a means to get people who are looking for new decals on their RVs, a way of getting them, but at an affordable price in a kit that they can self-install. When Chris and I sat down, we discussed the possibility of, you know what, would it make sense to create graphic kits that you can send out to folks to have put on their own fifth wheels or their own RVs, basically to replace some of the outdated graphics. Maybe you want to change the font, maybe you want to change the color.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it as well. I think this is something we've been looking for in the future to set up, and in the very near future we're going to have a revamped website where we're going to have be able to get online and order products online.
This would be a really, really good service to offer, and one that would make a lot of sense because there are so many people that are looking for graphics. And Chris actually has a travel trailer of his own, and this is something he's been thinking about doing anyways. So it's going to be good to partner with you on a project like this. Definitely want to thank Chris and the folks here at Iconic for letting me come through here, take a look at this truck. They have told me that, you know, anytime I want to do some footage with this truck, if we want to see it out on a work site, he'd be happy to take me out and let me do some footage of this thing actually working. If you'd like to see something like that, please leave a comment below. Guys, I really appreciate you watching my channel. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we will talk to you again soon.